How's it going? Welcome to another 239 Flies installment. I'll be your host, Nick Davis, and with me today, a very special guest, Dr. Gary Kreb. How's it going?
Good, Nick. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you are unaware, Gary Kreb is the inventor of the Gary Krebs jigs. And last year we did a little special with Joe and Debbie on how to use your popper jig. It was wildly successful and caught some eyes, including your own.
It did.
So yeah, Gary reached out to us and wanted to spend a little time while he was in town in sunny Bonita Beach.
Correct.
And yeah, so what are we going to do today, Gary?
Thanks for having me here, Nick. I appreciate it. We're going to tie the Gary Krebs Minnow. You can see down here on the table some of the different patterns, but we're going to use the cutters that are made by River Road Creations. This is the bluegill cutter, and this is the shad cutter. There is a third one, but it's unavailable right now. So we're going to start out. Ready to roll?
I mean, basically, like I've been here since 7 o'clock this morning and running on fumes, but let's do this. Let's do this. Where does all this stem from? Like, how about a little dive into the Gary Krebs backstory here?
It's, okay, so...
Because you're clearly a sick man.
I am. I'm recovering.
Okay, perfect. Aren't we all?
I was in an accident in January.
Okay.
Took a 8-inch diameter tree limb to the head.
Oops.
Broke my neck in 5 places, cracked my skull, had a little brain damage, as you can tell.
Okay.
But in the process of healing, I was looking through YouTube videos, flipping through, and there's this guy tying poppers, and so I hit the YouTube button, and I'm watching it, and this guy named Joe Mahler.
Joe Mahler.
Yeah, and Nick Davis, and I'm watching him. He says, "Yeah, we're going to tie the Gary Krebs popper." What?
You're like, wait a second, that's me.
That's me. So anyway, I watched the video. Joe did a phenomenal job of
He's
teaching.
a phenomenal teacher.
Yeah. Anybody down in this area that needs fly casting lessons, go see Joe Mahler.
No doubt.
He is unbelievable.
No doubt.
So anyway, I made a phone call to Joe, introduced myself, and Joe kind of put me in touch with Nick.
I'm glad you're able to get a hold of Joe's agent and publicist.
Right.
He's a difficult man to reach.
He is. He is. So anyway, Nick invited me down to demonstrate the new minnows that we're coming out with. Now,
and thank you for doing so.
There's this size of minnow is on the market now.
Okay.
We are currently working on a downsize of it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you guys that don't like throwing these bigger flies, we are doing it smaller. And you guys that like to fish big stuff, we're doing it bigger too.
It's funny, like I just want to throw this at like 100-pound tarpon because I know they'll eat it, and I'm sure there's somebody looking at that going, wow, I can't wait to throw that at like, pickerel.
Right, right. So another variation, this is the same shad pattern tied for tarpon. So you guys are out there hunting down tarpon. This is something that you can use also. We can tie this in a diver. We can dive it in a heavy sink. We can tie it in a mid-range. You can tie it flat where it doesn't have a dive top at all.
Okay.
You can turn the face around and make a gurgler out of it.
Yeah.
So, and anybody wants to see those, they're on the wall over here at 239 Flies. Come on in and take a look.
Great plug, Gary.
Yeah.
Phenomenal plug. Phenomenal. Gosh, you have a history. You have a future in radio.
Yeah. Hey, seriously, guys, anybody watching this video, support your local fly shop.
No doubt.
We used to have one, and our closest fly shop now is 130 miles away.
That's a problem.
It is
That's a problem for fly fishing.
So you guys out there, don't buy on Amazon. Come buy off Nick. Keep him in business. Because you got a whole bunch of people you're keeping going when you do. So
appreciate you, Gary.
Okay. All right. So material list. We're going to start out with 2mm craft foam. We're going to use the thin fins from Fly Skinz. We got a Kamagatsu SL12 in the 1/0. It's a short shank hook, and we're using the fish skull 5mm eyes. We're also going to use a piece of 80-pound mono and kind of whatever thread you have available. I use a UTC 140. Nick's using
Danville 210.
210. It'll
Or
work.
death.
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lock and load. Let's get a hook.
Like
and
George
vise.
Washington said, give me Danville 210 or give me death.
So let's get a hook and vise.
All right.
So here we go. So we're going to lay down a nice heavy base coat from the eye back to the bend.
All righty.
So little tricks along the way. One of the tricks I do is I wrap it around my finger and hold it tight.
Okay.
So I'll hold that tight, and then as my base coat comes back, I use the tag to put my base coat down. So my line is actually hitting the tag if I keep it tight, and it'll stack in just like that.
Stack them up. Yeah. Love that. Love that journey for us.
Anytime you have to lay a long base coat, use that tag. Okay?
All right.
Now we're going to take a piece of 80-pound mono, and what we're doing here is our minnow pattern is going to lay on top and on bottom. So we need to widen that shank to keep it from spinning. So if we tie it in, I need the front end, can you see there? I need the front end to be substantially back off that eye, because that's where the nose of the minnow comes back. But if you can just capture it on the side, either side, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And then just tie it up about like so.
So you want it to come back from the eye.
Yeah, stay back off
Stay
that
back
eye.
off the eye a little bit.
Right. Because
and
we have
tied along the side.
we have both noses coming together right there. That's the thinnest point.
And we're following the bend of the curve down with the curve of the hook shank. Or does that not matter either? The memory and the mono.
We're going to cut that off right there at the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is just strictly for a little bit of extra.
Yeah, this is just a little widening of the hook shank to keep that thing from spinning.
Gotcha. All right, that makes
All right,
sense.
so we can slip in there and bite off that 80.
Okay.
We're going to lay another base coat right over the top of that mono.
All right.
So anytime you're dealing with adhesives holding foam, whatever is on the base is what you're gluing to, okay? So the more thread you can get on there, the better it's going to stick.
Okay.
Okay, so don't be afraid to go over that 2 or 3 times. So what I'll do is I'll cover it, make sure I got it totally covered front to back.
Okay.
Yep. Once you get it covered, make a couple loose loops all the way back and all the way forward.
Okay.
Okay, so what you're doing is you're creating a surface area for that glue to stick to. Yeah. So just loose loop back, loose loop forward. Now come to your eye and tie off.
And tie off.
We're done.
We're done. It's a new palillo worm.
Yeah, there you go.
We're fishing this in the Keys.
All right.
$20 a piece.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So now we're going to shift to the cutters.
Oof. All right.
All right. We got the 2mm craft foam. I've already stamped a few of them out here, but so I'm going to show you kind of the tricks of using these cutters. So
Okay.
put it on, and it takes you a little bit to learn the pressure. So put it on, push down and wiggle. You don't want to push too hard because you'll dull the cutter, but if you'll pick it up, open that up, you can see there that it's cut all the way around. Push down, and I kind of rock it left, forward, right, lift it up.
Do the rock away.
Yeah,
Nice.
and look, and you can see right along that edge, it's not quite cut.
Yep.
We'll just set it right back down on there and push on that corner, and it's cut.
Blamo. Yeah. Now, which cutter are we using? I know they make 3 different ones. They've got the minnow, the shad, and the sunfish.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. We're going to use the shad on this one because we're tying Debbie Hansen's peacock bass imitation. That's a diver.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Diver.
So this particular one is
McDiver.
Right. This is a dead minnow pattern. It's going to float on the surface of the water like that. Now, when you strip this, if you use a lengthy strike,
Okay.
water's going to hit this little rib right here, and it's going to dive. And when it dives, it pulls bubbles with it.
Okay.
And it makes
That's gonna be pretty fun.
it makes an incredible sound.
How'd you come up with all this?
You're welcome. So once we got these stamped out,
Okay.
on this pattern we're gonna use 3. Okay. So we're gonna take that and cut them as deep as you can cut them like that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take my 3 and then I'm gonna hand you 3.
Perfect.
Can you see there? Mm-hmm. Okay. Take all 3 noses and line the noses up.
Okay.
Okay. So once you get the noses, here, I'll turn it over that way. once you get the noses lined up, pinch it and hold it.
So you get the noses lined up.
So what we're doing is we're giving the cutouts a direction, because it's real easy to get it turned around on the fly.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm just going to touch the back with that. Okay, so I'm just putting a dot on the back.
Okay. How perfect do the noses have to be lined up?
As perfect as
as
you
perfect
want
as you can get them.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is like baking. It is an
Yeah,
exact
yeah,
science.
right.
Okay. So now we will put a line across all
Yeah,
three.
just make
Anywhere.
a line on. That lets you know that that's the back.
Gotcha. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay. That's good.
Oh, these markers smell fantastic.
Oh, they do.
Gosh. Wow.
Okay, now we're going to take one out of there and set it aside.
Okay.
The other two, line them back up. One's going to be our top and one's going to be our bottom.
Alrighty.
But we need them the exact same length. Okay? So line the nose up, and then whatever length you want for the tail, cut it off.
Okay. Now you tell me what length I want for the tail.
Just snip a little bit off so they're even.
Okay.
Yeah. Lay both of them down in a stack there. Now flip one over this way. Flip it up like that.
Like such.
Yep. Right.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to use the fly skin thin fins in the medium for this one. If you like a bigger tail, these come in 4 different sizes. They are phenomenal. You can use them on poppers. You can use them on minnow patterns. Whatever you like. They're awesome. So we're going to use Loctite super glue ultra gel, and all we're going to do is go right down the center of this body and just kind of wet it. Just maybe whoop, that's way too much. Just kind of wet it like that, and then we're going to lay the tail on. Now you can make the tail as long as you want. I tend to like the tail a little bit shorter. I'm just going to lay it right in there like so. Now hold it down and take your bodkin and just rub it, and if the light's right, you can see the super glue come through the tail.
Okay.
We're just going to reach underneath there and cut that excess off.
Alrighty.
Oh. Okay. So now we have the start of a real nice minnow shape there with the tail.
All right. All right.
Okay. Got it?
Yep.
Yep.
Mine a little shorter.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. It still works.
It's gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to use this one for my top
Okay.
and this one for my bottom.
You want the one with the tail on top.
Yes. Correct. Correct. Now we're going to put the bottom one on first.
Okay.
Okay, so the way we're going to do that is I'm just going to turn this sideways. Can you both see? Okay. I'm going to put the foam up against the hook, just like this, and I'm going to aim for the center of the tail. Okay, so if I make a straight line out of my hook,
Yep.
put the nose right up by the eye. What I'm doing is making a mark where to cut this at, because we got to get it underneath the shank.
Okay.
Okay, so when I let up, I'll leave an impression of the hook. See the impression of the hook and the thread there, right there? It's fading fast, but
Yep.
it's right there. So once I've got the impression, I'm going to set it down, and I'm going to make about a 1/4 inch long cut there, right through there. Okay?
Okay.
Turn your hook back upright,
Okay.
and we're just going to push the eye through that slot. Oop, got it backwards.
Okay.
Now, however you put this on, so now you see the dot is facing towards you.
Yes.
Okay. If you hold your body up, that's got the tail already glued to the inside of it.
Yep.
Okay. You're in the correct orientation.
Look at this.
Right. Now, if I put it on the other way, I just want to show you this is how not to do it. If I put it on this way, then my tail is oriented wrong on this piece, so they're backwards. That's the reason
then your
for the
tail's
dot.
going to be on top, and it's
Right.
going to look. Yeah.
Right.
That's why we make jigs to do
Exactly.
things the same way each time.
Exactly.
You should tell somebody about this.
Right. So now all we have to do is take our super glue, and we're going to just wet the thread right here. Come on around. There you go. Okay, we're just going to put a nice little bead right down that. So once you get your glue on there, just rotate the head up, put it right behind the eye, and press. And push in on the back side, hold it for a couple seconds, and we're stuck. Now, since we're making a diver, we're going to have to do a little modification to this head.
Okay.
Okay, so Right, and so the part with the tail on it is our top.
Okay.
So put that
We
aside.
want the one with the tail.
Right,
Okay.
one with the tail. What we're going to do is we're going to cut the head off right where the lip comes up. Kind of a straight line down the middle, and just pick a spot. It's wherever you choose to make it, and cut his head off. But see how my razor is at a slight angle?
Slight angle.
Yep, and just push it through there.
Cutting it all the way off. And this is the piece with the tail.
Le poiseau. You know, that kind
Done.
of thing. Right. How I love
To the
little
guillotine.
fishes I do. Right. Okay. Now, if it isn't square, we need to square it back up. See how mine is off square a little bit, or out of square?
Yep.
Okay, so if I make the diver fit that angle, my diver head's gonna be a little bit crooked. See how that's nice and square to the tail? Here's a little trick to get it to stick, because a lot of times we'll glue this up and press on it. It won't stick.
Nope.
One time you do it, it will, next time it won't. But all you need is a little bit of water.
Okay. That's what water's for.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I was
So-
worried that we're supposed to drink that stuff.
That's a good idea.
No, thank you. No,
So-
no. We have Treaty Oak for that.
There we go.
Shout out to my boys at Treaty Oak. Pat, you're smiling. I know. Yeah, I know you know what's up.
So
Sorry.
if you take the side that we're going to glue on,
Okay.
which just has a tail, and just dampen it, you don't have to get it wet, or actually don't get it wet, just get it damp.
Okay.
Now we're going to glue up this part of the body.
This is the okay.
Okay, smear the glue all over that. You don't want to get crazy with
I'm just
this.
so glad we found another use for water besides just using it to flush toilets with. That's phenomenal. Jim,
So
can we
just-
start drinking gin yet?
Okay.
Okay.
You good?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue mine up. So now we're going to match the tail right there, squeeze it, match that in, and just hold it down for a second. And with that little bit of moisture in there, boom, that dude is stuck.
All right.
Just like that. So now all we need to do is wet this. What we're going to do is glue, and we're going to just stick that head in there like that and let this back end flip up.
Ah,
so
okay, all right.
That's going to make our diver lip.
Okay. So I don't want to get ahead of you. I'm so excited.
Oh,
I
go,
know
go,
where
do
the
it.
ship is
Do
going.
it. Glue it. Glue it.
Glue it.
Put
All
it
right.
on there. Yeah, put it on there.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Let's go. Line up those dots.
Yep. Line
Press
them up.
this down.
Line up your nose. Press it in. Now another little trick is take your
Hackle pliers.
hackle pliers. Thank you.
Yep.
Stick those right at where that bend is, and
Just set it and forget it.
yeah, just set them. Okay. So once your adhesive has set, I got a little opening happening there at the nose. There we go. Okay. Now once the adhesive is set, you can take that off. All right. Now
Okay.
we're going to establish the height of the dive
Okay.
area here. You can make this whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, go out, make some of these, fish them, put them on the water, see how they dive. If you want them to go deeper, make it longer.
Okay.
If you don't want them to go that deep, make them shorter.
Okay.
If you want them quieter, cut off the edges. You just reach in there and cut it longer than what you think so that you can trim it down.
Okay.
Okay. If you cut it too short to begin with, you're done.
You can always cut it more, but
Right,
you can't
right.
cut it less.
Correct. So there's our dive lip.
Okay.
Now we're going to take it out of the vise and we're going to start the trim process.
Okay.
All right. So just do some little nips there, and you can do this however you want. This part of fly tying is being creative. If you like them squared, leave them squared. If you want them round, make them round. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that look right there. This takes it to another level. So here's kind of my point. The cutters let you get to here. Okay, you can fish this at this point. This will catch fish.
Okay.
Right here, you just go out and throw this on the water, you're gonna catch fish. But part of fly tying is how much art do you want to put into it?
I'll watch the video when we're done.
Okay, I'm gonna start at the tail and I'm just gonna cut a chamfer off of every corner that I can find. Okay, chamfer there, chamfer up there. And then I'm gonna start up the edges. So take your scissors, and you got to do this in multiple stages, and it's going to look really rough at first, but I'm going to show you how to smooth it out. We got chamfer off that side. Nip it there.
Gonna go with the shorter scissors on this guy.
Yeah. And if you have some scissors that have the little rounded edges on them, those work really good too.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, knock off the back here. This takes the fly to another level.
Putting a little rounded.
Yeah, yeah, we're making it look more like a fish.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Now something, when you get to your dive top there,
Yep.
take a look down here, Nick. Push your dive top down and cut that whole edge right there, so you can come right off the dive top and right
Okay.
to the front.
That's pretty fun.
Turn it over the other side. Okay. So there you can see we've chamfered the entire body of the fly now, but you can see all these lines, the cut edges. You will ruin some flies learning how to do this, but
okay.
It's okay. Just count on it. Okay, so we're going to light it. What I do is I hold that tail, because any heat hits that tail,
That thing's
it's
done.
gone.
Yeah, it's polyester.
It's gone.
Toast.
Okay, so I just hold it, light the lighter, and then bring the lighter in and be quick. And just bring it right along that edge and then rub it.
Ah, okay.
See how it's melting down those
Yep.
scissor marks?
Yep.
Okay, so we went from all chopped up now to smooth
Nice and
transition.
smooth and ready to roll.
Right, right. So we'll do the other side. There we go. Give it a little rub. Now you see how that's all smooth along there versus the bottom that's cut. This is one of those artsy things.
Yeah, yeah, no, this is,
Yeah.
I mean, also I'm sure it's gonna swim better in the water too, having the rounded edges.
Yeah.
Better looking flies catch more fish.
They do.
Yes.
They do. All right. So there we go. We got a nice smooth round shape.
All right.
Okay, the Copic is alcohol based.
Okay.
So if I put this on the fly and it's not where I want it, I can actually take a Q-tip with some alcohol on it and remove it or move it.
Really?
So if I want to thin it out and spread it out, I can do that. I can also do it with the Copic marker.
Okay.
So, and I'll show you here in just a second. So in this pattern, we're going to start out with the, this is pale olive. And so I'm going to start right at the nose. This is a baby peacock. So I'm just going to start right at the nose.
You want to use
I'm going to use the blade side,
Okay.
correct. And I'm going to travel right from the center of the nose, maybe a little bit under it, right up that, all the way down to the tail.
Okay.
Okay, so just don't be shy with it, just go right down it. It's no big deal. There's guys out there that are amazing with the Copic airbrush system.
Yes.
I don't happen to be one of those guys, so I have to use the pens.
I'm still trying to get the airbrush system, and tougher to get a hold of than you think. I don't know if it's just that everyone has taken to arts and crafts in 2020 and 2021 because there's nothing else to do.
Right.
But yeah, very much still trying to get that.
Right. Yeah, you're just coloring it in.
And unlike kindergarten, we can color outside the lines.
You can color outside the
we're
lines.
not being graded here.
Now we're going to switch to the, this is Spanish olive.
Spanish
But you can
olive.
use
That
dark
sounds
olive.
delicious.
Right, right.
Okay.
So so now we got top and the bottom established.
Okay.
We're going to take this right down the top and darken that top of that, because most minnows have a dark top to them.
They do,
So,
especially tarpon that don't eat.
right.
Yep.
And then go over the edge just a little bit. Let's switch to the tail.
Okay.
We're going to take the orange Copic marker.
All right.
Now just set that down on your post-it notes
Okay.
and give the tail this orange tip
Okay.
there.
Yeah, just right at the end
Yeah,
of
just right at the tip,
Okay.
or however you choose to do it. This is
Just the tip.
right. Like just, and if you flip it over, the Copic will go through that tail But if you do the other side, it kind of darkens up the color for
Yeah.
you a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's your tail.
Beautiful. That's a nice little pop.
Yeah. Now jump back to your light olive.
Okay.
And then what I did on this one is I did the back and the lower, but I left a little section of white there because a picture of a baby peacock has a little bit of white on that tail.
Okay.
So I just go along that
Trying to
edge.
be as natural about this as we can.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
We're taking it this far. We might as well take it all the way.
Right. Do the best you can. I guess that's kind of being artsy.
This is fun. I mean, you can tie up 100 of these things, have them ready to roll, and then, okay, I need to color some of these up.
Yeah, nice,
Then,
nice.
Oh,
Now I added, I don't think the picture of the baby peacock had this under orange,
yeah.
but
We're going to add that.
I like a little bit of
That's
color
getting
in
added.
there. So just go down here in the throat section and just do a little bit of color in there. I'll roll that over the edge a little bit. Okay, now we're going to use the pen side of the black Copic marker. And we're going to put the lateral line.
Okay.
Now I'm going to start on the top because you can see it better, but
Okay.
I'm just going to draw a line from underneath the dive platform there and try to just use the tip and just make a line. And don't try to be real straight. If you look at minnow pictures, none of the minnows have a perfectly straight line. So if your hand is shaky, you're actually adding something that's kind of natural. Okay?
There is no symmetry in nature.
And none.
None whatsoever.
And you can go down the face too and up the dive lever. And the cool thing is if you make a mistake on this side, the fish will never see it. I'm going to use the pin as the shape.
As the shape.
Yeah.
Damn
So
it, Gary.
Just press it on there, roll it up, and roll it back, and there's one. Move up some, press it on there, roll it back, and there's two. Do the same thing for your third one. Okay? Now if they're not quite the shape, you can go back in and touch them up a little bit.
Frustratingly simple.
Right,
And annoying.
right. So turn it over and we'll do the other side. Do the one back by the tail first. One up here. That one's a little shaky. And then we'll do the one right in front of that. So if you want to add realism to it, I want a gill slit and I want a dorsal fin or a pectoral fin.
Okay.
Okay. So if you take a Sharpie marker cap and I just cut a notch in it opposite of the pocket protector,
Okay.
bend that up, that gives you a directional. Okay. So if I put that notch right on my eye and point that at the top of the tail, right there, and push, see the indentation? Now I can take one of these are archival pins.
Okay.
It's a .005 tip. Okay, and I can take that and just follow that indentation right there. Now, well, kind of follow it, if your hands aren't shaking.
Yeah. Wow.
And there's my gill slit. Okay. Okay, now to make the fin, this fin right here,
Okay.
okay, all I do is start behind that, get it here where the camera can see it, and I make a straight line, kind of angle up a little bit, about that long, make a straight line down, and then connect those two. Okay?
Yep.
Now, right there where it attaches to the body, make it in a little bit of a C shape, and then put a couple lines in there. Now, if you want to add a little bit more, go back and dot the end of that line right there, just to rough it up. So I use these, it's a gel glitter pen, and I just highlight that fin. Just rub it in there a little bit. Now you got that little bit of extra
That's pretty cool.
artwork in
That's
there.
that's some nonsense right there.
Right. So
That is-
give her a try. Okay.
All right. Let's
So
put
now we've got the minnow, but it's time to make it come to life.
Oh, some eyeballs.
we're ready for eyeballs.
Love eyeballs.
All right, so we're using 5mm on this one. You can,
oh, you got it
right there. There you go.
That one.
Yep, whatever color that you desire here.
Okay.
I'll lay one right there, and you'll see the minnow come to life. How's that? He's upside down, but okay. So now we're going to do the other side, but we want to place that as close as you can to the other side. So I typically just look over the top. They're lined up this way.
Put a little gel
and they're
on
lined
there.
up that way.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to use Loon
Little Loon UV thick.
UV thick.
Little
Right there.
thick with a couple C's.
Right, right. What we're going to do first is, because this is foam and it has no strength,
Yep.
we're going to make sure we get an ample amount behind that.
Okay.
Okay. Doesn't need to pile it in there, but just get it coated in real good. Whoop, that is thick.
A little bit of goop.
Yep. So I start on my eyeballs and just paint it across there. Wipe it in behind there. Make sure you cover everything. Little trick for this stuff is get it in the light. If you can rotate the fly to where the sheen from the light is,
Okay.
you can actually see where you've missed.
Okay.
So just
Pro
keep
tip.
right. Just keep moving it around, but don't get it on your tail. Just stop right there at the end. Come across the back. Once you get it painted on there, this stuff will kind of seek its own level.
Okay.
Kind of like regular epoxy, but if you just keep it moving, it'll kind of settle itself out. It'll have some bumps and, you know, thicker and thinner places. You can take a toothpick and kind of I don't know what you call it, level it out, I guess. You can use your bodkin a little bit if you got
This is definitely, I can already tell, this is definitely something that you don't want to use two-part epoxy for. Because you got to be able to spread this stuff around before it dries.
Right.
And two-part epoxy is going to get real dicey.
Yeah.
That's a time bomb right there.
Yeah. This stuff is awesome because you can put it exactly where you need it and where you want it. And then when you hit it with the cure button, or the cure light, excuse me, it's there, it's done.
Yeah, and when you're ready for that,
I am ready.
hold that button down.
There you go. Another item donated by 239Flies. Okay.
High tech.
All right. Okay, now before I cure that, so if I already hit this one, but if your dive piece here isn't set where you want it, if it's laying back too far, it's sticking up too far, before you cure it, you can take your bodkin and actually push it down where you want or pull it up where you want and then hit that right behind it.
That's smart.
All right, we should have a full cure on there. And that is a finished fly.
Gary, I thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks
for having
man.
us
This
down.
is a hell of a lot of fun.
Love it.
All right, let's
Pat.
break for dinner. Do some fly tying night.
Let's do it.